Hey everybody, welcome to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. Here we are. I'm coming to you live from Sea Isle City, New Jersey. Down here for a couple days, just enjoying the sun. It's been a beautiful, beautiful couple days. Heading back to Delco tonight, and got a full second half of the week planned, and I'm excited. Ed, I mean, I'm in Sea Isle City, New Jersey. I'm not in Florida. You get to do this like damn near every day.
I was just going to say, first of all, I can smell the salt air. I can smell the stale beer coming from Kick right now. I can hear the fudgy wudgy man, right? For those that are, you got to be a Jersey or a
If you
PA
know, you know, right?
to know. And yeah, and then I was going to say, yeah, man, I wish I was near a beach. And I'm like, I am. How about that?
Yeah, every day.
It's cool.
Well, man, listen, I'm excited about our conversation today. I always, it's funny. It's for those behind the scenes of the Ed and Ken's mini podcast. We jump on these calls without an agenda, just like, hey, let's catch up. What's going on? And inevitably, about 5 minutes in, two of us are screaming, and energy levels are at a fever pitch, and we're like, all right, this is what we want to talk about today. And then we hit the record button, and today I wanted to talk about, Ed. I know that from a coaching perspective, there is a methodology that you follow, and honestly, a lot. Every coach has similar methodologies, but I like the way you package yours, and I think it's consistent in a lot of ways with what we do here at Princeton, and in it, where you prioritize the coaching call, or where you prioritize your coaching students. So let's start there. Walk me through the three, like, what is the in order? What are the three most important things you have to do as a producer, in order to prepare yourself for the next step?
Yeah, so there's three things that I always go over. Number one, mindset.
Hmm.
Number two, knowing your numbers, which I know you like to talk about, tracking.
Yep.
And number three, honing in on your unique strategy. What is in your strength zone? Are you a running back trying to play offensive guard, or are you a running back getting the step work down so that when you run the draw play, you run it perfectly? And if we look at in any kind of practice, there's usually a certain amount of time for this. Then the coach blows the whistle. You change to this, then you change to that, and that's the way I run my coaching: mindset, numbers, strategy.
Let's take 3 minutes and talk about mindset. And I've had this conversation actually recently a couple times, and I got from you the term brain chemistry, and I love that term when we talk about mindset. What do you mean by brain chemistry?
Yeah. So a few things I think about. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. So mindset and brain chemistry. Mindset is nothing but a mind shift. And the way we create a mind shift is I literally just, uh, she's not in real estate. She's a high level retreat, uh, uh, women's retreat owner. It's so unique. It's unbelievable. And um, she was struggling, right? And I said, all right, stop. First thing you have to do is write out a written gratitude list. Right now, your cortisol, this is what I'm talking about, brain chemistry. Your cortisol is flowing. You're in fight or flight. I only have 6 weeks to get this done. Stop. We need to get the dopamine, the serotonin, and the oxytocin flowing. That relaxes us. That gets us balanced. That gets us hungry. That gets us focused. And we aren't operating out of fight and flight.
Flight.
Yeah, so everything is brain chemistry. That's what it is. And we can control that.
That's the best part. We get to control it, and it's like, we have the levers in ourselves where we can say, okay, I want to turn this on. I want to turn this off. People don't realize how much control you have over the chemicals that are flowing through your brain and through your body. And I think that once you learn that, it changes everything. What there are techniques, there are breathing techniques, there's exercise, there's gratitude, there are all these different techniques that obviously you share with your students. But man, it's like you literally have the power to flip the switch. And you're right, you can't operate here if your brain chemistry is all jacked up over here. You're just not gonna be your best self.
Can't do it. And believe it or not, mindset, the first thing it's connected to is physiology. So you got to stand up, got to move, got to walk, got to jump, got to scream, got to smile. Right? There's an old saying, not an old saying, it's actually a proven method that I use in some of my trainings. I learned it from Anthony Robbins, and this was, I believe, a Princeton, a research was done at Princeton, and they took people that were struggling with depression, and they put them in a three-way mirror and had them smile real big at themselves for
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes a day, like really big, like crow's feet, goofy looking smile. And at the end of like 30 days, most of them were off all their medication. So what I do when I started training, like I'll have some fun. I'll be like, all right, everybody close your eyes so you're not looking at each other. Smile real big, smile real big, smile real big, smile real big. Now get depressed, keep the smile. Get depressed, keep the smile. And everybody laughs like you and I are right now, right? It's
You,
impossible. So it's impossible to be in a state of gratitude and be worried or have fear. It's
at the same
impossible.
time.
You
Yeah,
can't exist.
I love it. I love it. So mindset starts everything, right? You got to position yourself in the right place, obviously, whether it's a coaching call or it's just a day, a Tuesday, right? Next, and the second most important thing comes the numbers. What does that mean?
Yeah. So the numbers, I would say the first thing is know what your goal is, know what your target is. Whether it's a yearly goal, whether it's a quarterly goal, whether it's a weekly goal, and there's a process out there that you can literally pull the goal into the day right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in our businesses, the real estate and mortgage business, it no matter what, and the next thing will be strategy. It doesn't matter how you do it, but there has to be that pitch and catch back and forth, contacts, conversations, touches. So I'll give you an example. Simplest way I can spell this out is, to this day, although the net number has changed, I can look at any real estate agent, say how many people do you have in your database that are have-mets. So if you're a real estate agent, Ken, say how many people do you have in your database that are have-mets, where if you picked up the phone and said, hey, it's Ken Jordan, they're going to go, hey, Ken, great to hear from you, man. Let's say that number's 200. I can tell you right away, I can put together a marketing plan it's an old thing called the 33 touch, different
Mm-hmm.
companies, different things, but you're going to net 8 to 10% out of that database in closed production. So if we went with 8%, that's 16 transactions right there. 16 transactions times, I think it's easy in most markets right now to have an average sale price of $500,000. That's going to get you to whatever it is, 7 million. Now
It's
you're,
in our side, and it's very, very similar. And where we are, we track what we call um, agents you're in flow with. What does that mean on our side? Flow means that you could pick up the phone and call that agent and they answer and they don't go, oh, why is he calling? That's interesting. I'm like, Ken, what's up? Like that, like if they're curious, like if it's an odd, uncomfortable thing that you're calling, then you're not in flow with that person. Flow agent is someone you can pick up the phone, call tomorrow, be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, Ken, what's new? Blah, blah, blah. Right? You will close 2 transactions for every agent you're in flow with.
a
2
year.
transactions per year. Doesn't mean you're going to close 2 transactions with every agent. Just means on average, if you take your list of agents that you are in flow with, meaning you talk to them periodically, you get together with them periodically, you pick up the phone and call out of nowhere and they'll answer. Those are the measure of whether or not you're in flow with them. 2 transactions per year. If you're in flow with 50 agents, you're going to close 100 transactions. If you're in flow with 5 agents, you're going to close 10 transactions. It's the way we track it. Now, here's what's interesting, Ed, because I've been in the room, you've been in the room when you're trying to teach somebody something, and what do? They go, yeah, I kind of hear what you're saying, but here's how I do it. Here's what I think is a better idea. How frustrating is that when you're talking to to a client, and they're not coming, when they're constantly in a place of agree or disagree with what it is you're saying.
Do you want me to tell the story?
I
And I,
tell it.
all right, and I won't. I'll leave the last three letters of the one word out.
Yeah.
So, doing a group coaching the other day, great people, great people. And in the real estate world, a lot of times what we have, and I don't know if it's the mortgage business is similar, I'm guessing it is, you have very successful people from previous careers, teachers, cops, engineers, different entrepreneurs.
Or people that were successful in a different time in this industry, but are not successful right now.
That's such a great point. And, you know, you have your thing. Like I have my numbers to back up. I have teams that are up 35, 40%. I have agents that have doubled their business every year, blah, blah, blah. It's just what I do. Like I have evidence to back up what I do, and not everybody's a fit for me. I get it. But I'm in the middle of this, and I'm going on how to structure this particular marketing plan. And wonderful human being says, yeah, I do that, but I tweak this and I tweak that. Right now, keep in mind, they're coming along in their career, but they don't qualify to add well, this is what I do. So I just stopped and I said, and this is just the real, raw, non-watered down version of me. This is why people are crazy enough to hire me. I said, hey, let's just pretend his name was Johnny. No, that's my grandson's name. I can't use that. Let's call him Ralph. Right?
Ralph, yeah.
Hey, Ralph.
No offense to any Ralphs out there.
Hey, Ralph, how about if you shut the F up and just pretend like I know what I'm talking about? Just shut the F up and just act for a second like I know what I'm talking about, right? The leader, your boss, could hire any coach in the United States of America. And you've had some of the best coaches. She chose to hire me. The reason why she pays me a hefty monthly fee is I know what I'm doing. And if we just look at the team, you have 1/3 of the agents on the team and you're up 40%. Are you cool with that? And he just smiled like, I can't believe you're talking to me like that. And I always wrap it up, and I do mean this, and I know you know me. I said, believe it or not, this is the best way I can show that I care about you and that I love you and I care about your family. And sometimes I just need to stop people in their tracks because everybody wants to bring their stuff. It's the same with sobriety. Well, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, this time last week you were in jail. So you might not be in the best position to manage your life. Would you agree with that? Right.
And it's so funny. And sometimes people, and this is the message here. And the reason I bring it up, if you're getting coached, if you have whether it's Ed or anybody, if you're in a coaching program, my first coach taught me, don't ever listen from a place of agree or disagree. I think that's the hazard, right? We're constantly in this real-time analysis. Is what Ed's saying true? Do I agree with it, or do I disagree with what Ed's saying? Or my coach? Do I agree or do I disagree? Do I agree with that? Do I disagree with that? I agree with that. Okay, that's good. And you get the confirmation, and it makes you feel good that we agree. And then you disagree. You're like, oh, it's not ego. It's not ego. You have to listen to your coaches from a place of possibility, not from a place of agree or disagree. If you're constantly in that agree or disagree mindset, you're missing so much. So much. And again, like you said, your best thinking got you here. So for the moment, you're gonna have to put away what you agree and what you disagree with me and just listen from a place of possibility. And I think that if you do that, you'll get so much more out of your coaching.
And you know what? Thank you for that. And I just learned from you. Since you were saying that, I was like, all right, let me listen to what Ken has to say. I'm like, I could probably be more effective with a still being the authentic me, but just explaining that. Hey, there's three ways people listen. We listen and agree, we listen to disagree, or we listen to just listen. That's the third way. I would highly recommend you do that. But so I just being open minded, I'm like, all right, I just learned something, man.
All right, guys, it's been nice. It's been fun. We're gonna let you go now. I'm kidding.
That's cool.
Mission accomplished. Now, I'm glad we took that tangent, but let's get back to the third. Let's get back to the third piece of that puzzle there, and that's going to be your unique strategies.
Yes.
Talk a
Yes.
little bit about what that means. I know there's an important word in there, and that's unique, right? And then there's also, strategies. It's funny, I learned today in this conversation because I focus solely on strategies. What are your strategies? Give me the 5 things you're going to do that you think are going to work to achieve this goal. And then we'll talk about tracking those things to determine if they are working or not working. But what are the 5 things? And I've always focused on strategies. But then you brought the word unique into it, and I think it's an important twist. Tell me about that.
So I'll literally tell you a story real quick. Probably whenever it was, there's a panel of 3 agents. They all did over 100 transactions a year, and they were interviewed of what's your system. And there was 2 men and a woman, and the woman went last. And the 2 men were, hey, I hire this, and this is how I scale, and this is my ISA, and this is my ABC, and blah 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 blah. And when they got to the woman, they said, what's your strategy? What's your strategy? And she laughs and she goes, God's honest truth. She goes, I have 4 kids and they all play soccer. I go to their soccer games and talk to people.
It's great.
So 121 transactions a year, you can't argue with her,
Correct.
right? And I'm getting back into it. Success leaves clues. In my heavy recruiting days, the best advice I got from my coach was, Ed, you're a coach. Just set free coaching appointments. Set 10 free coaching appointments a week. And 25 to 30% of those agents will join your company in the next 90 to 180 days. That's what I did. 100 million in production to almost $1 billion in production in 5 years.
Now here's the thing, Ed. He landed on something for sure there. I don't think it was luck. But what I think where a lot of agents, a lot of loan officers, a lot of salespeople, where they go wrong is they have a strategy, and most of us are hard workers. Like that's almost like a foregone conclusion. Okay, we're hard workers. We have a strategy. We have a goal. Hey, this is what I want. This is what I think I need to do to get there. And then they execute, and they don't track, and it blows my mind. Why people don't track the activities. Oh, I'm going to talk to X amount of people this week. Okay, great. And then you get to the end of the week and it's like, hey, how many people did you talk to? Like, I don't know, maybe 20. BS. If I was at Forsyth, I'd be like, bullshit. So here's the thing. If you don't track your activities, you are relying on 2 things at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, at the end of the quarter, whenever you are sitting down to say, hey, is it working? Is it not working? You're relying on 2 things. How you feel, which is a terrible measure of whether or not you were productive, because we've all had those weeks where we worked really hard, but we didn't do anything productive. You can pick up rocks and move them from one side of the yard to the other and be tired. It doesn't mean you were productive in your goals. So how you feel is a terrible measure of whether or not you had a good week. And then the other is your memory. And our memories suck.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many people I talked to yesterday. And if I sat here with a straight face and said, I talked to 12 people yesterday, I'd be lying. I'd be guessing and lying that I knew. So that's where I think that, tracking your activities, being in the habit of writing down somewhere who you talked to, what you talked about, who you talked to, what you talked about, what podcast did you do, what you talked about, what email campaign did you start this week, and what social media campaign did you start this week, how many people did you meet with this week. Those are the things that drive the success. And if you don't track, you can't iterate. You can't go back and say, okay, I talked to 10 people. What you were talking earlier, this one particular person, I talked to 10 people every single week, for 10 weeks, and I'm not getting anywhere. Is effort the problem? No, you're obviously not executing correctly. So let's go to your execution. And you can't fine tune it. You can't fine tune it if you don't know what's working and what's not working.
I
Soapbox, I'm
call
I'm,
them
I'm gonna
vital
step down.
signs. Yep. There's vital signs in every business. And part of those tracking numbers are vital signs. And no matter what, and we oversimplify this business in a lot of ways, but it comes down to personal power, this skill set. I haven't been on a listing appointment since 2009. I can still take listings. In fact, I do for other agents. And it's because I am prepared. Most agents aren't prepared. I've been in crowds of 3,500 agents, and my first question to them is, tell me why I should list your house, or tell me why I should hire you to sell my home. Crickets. No one is prepared. Finally, somebody will say, because I'm honest and I have integrity. Like, oh my, you're hired. Thank God you're honest and you have integrity. Wow, that's unbelievable. They just aren't prepared. And then I always get the whys asked, well, what would you say? And I'd say what I've said for the last 23 years. Great question. Tell me what's most important to you in your experience of listing and selling your home with me. If something like that just doesn't roll off your tongue, you're just not prepared. I've been bringing up Mike Cianci lately, and only because it was publicly put out there. His GCI for June was $235,000. Single agent, doesn't have a team. He has a great assistant, great marketing people. And I got questioned because everybody knows I coached Mike back in the day. And it's because Mike and I would spend an hour changing one word in his listing presentation, his posture. He called me one day and said, dude, I'm headed to a listing appointment and I'm up against a team. And they told me they've already decided to go with the team. What should I do? He reached out. He nailed the listing. By the way, he got it. Just because we know what to say. We've been around long enough. That's why Mike Cianci does the business he does. He is a sniper. He's a true pro. The one
And I
thing I would do
promise you,
for anybody in our business right now, Ken, is to make the decision to become a pro.
and
Absolute pro.
if you're listening still, God bless you at 24 minutes in. You don't know what's working and you don't know what's not working if you're not tracking.
Yep.
And how do you get better at your listing presentations? Pay attention to the things you're saying. How do you get better at your buyer consults? Pay attention to the things you're saying. Listen to what track. Again, Ed, if you had 15 listing presentations and you only got one, because we're tracking, you can now say, okay, well, obviously the listing presentation might be the problem. It's not that you didn't prospect enough. That's not the problem. And like you said, You can work really, really hard, but if you're working really, really hard on the wrong thing, you're wasting your time.
Yep.
So,
And by the way, the best coach in the world for everybody other than you in the real estate world has to be your broker or your team leader. If they aren't your head coach, you're with the wrong company or the wrong office. Run. And loud and clear, this is my disruptive Delco. I'll say it again, if your broker, owner, OP, TL, whatever you want to call them, isn't your head coach, that's what you're paying for.
yeah.
Run. Don't let them tell you, oh, you have to join that company or our coaching company. No, that's your job as a leader. Lead, teach, train.
Ed, this was a good one, my man. I knew it would be. I hope everybody listened from a place of possibility. I hope everybody got something out of it. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the rest of this week.
Enjoy. Have a fudgy wudgy for me, dude, and dance your ass off at Kicks, man. Go do it.
Well, I'm going home tonight, so I might have to miss that one. But next time, Labor Day.
All right.
All right, Ed, we will catch up soon, my friend.
Yeah, man.